We'll start again. Baruch Hashem, Chai Tishrei, Tov Shin. Yud Tishrei, Tov Shin Pei Dalet. We'll start Amud Kof Aleph, Maamer Vayishlach Ya'akov, and Hemshech Tov Shin Samach Vov. So, I like looking in the Mafteach in the beginning of the Maamer Yud Gimel Viyshlach Ya'akov, Shashuim Atzmim Uva Ayidei Tshuva. So yesterday we started mentioning two levels in the Oineg HaAtzmi. There's a level of Oineg HaMurgash, which comes in as felt and is expressed through dancing, singing, or crying, or some other oifen of the kalim not being able to handle the Oineg. And then there's a higher than that, the Oineg Abilti Murgash, which comes through Avodah Sabirudim. Here, we're going to start talking about the Shashoim Ha'atzmim, which is a higher level. We say Bali De'at Tshuva, which this will kind of see how the Maamer goes, but this ties back to what we said in the beginning of the Avodah of Kabbalah's oil, which is related to the Avodah Tshuva, the Avodah Rosh Hashanah. Viשלח Ya'akov malach milfanav le'esav achi vayitzav lemer koyserm l'adoni le'esav. Yaakov sent messengers to Esav, and he told him, "So shall you say to my master Esav, in Lavan Garti, I was living with Lavan va'echar adata, and it took a while for me to come till now. And I had cow, donkeys, and sheep. And I'm sending to tell my master to find favor in your eyes. What is Yaakov telling Esav? That he lived with Lavan. Esav knew that he was by Lavan. And what is it Negea? Yes, and then move on. It's more not understood. He knew that Esav hates him. You should conceal your greatness from him. Right? Why do you have to tell him that you had the cows and donkeys, that you're doing well and that you're a gvir? So he says, I lived with Lavan, and Rashi says, and I still kept the 613 mitzvahs of the Eibishter. Apologizing and saying that it took a while. He's not saying a reason why what took a while for him to come. He just said it took me a while to come. If it's important to know that it took a while, what's the reason? Lovin calls that we have to start by explaining what we said earlier. The idea of Tainuk and have when Mashiach comes is a simple Tainuk, which isn't morkav with anything else. It's not combined with anything else. It's just a simple Tainuk, the etzem dika pleasure, and the Eibishter himself. Not even a type of a Tainuk which you have through seeing things through wisdom, because there to the ear the chachma to the ear of you don't see the thing the way it is. But this level of this level of the Tainuk HaAtzmi which you're going to get is based madreges. There's a simple level of Oineg which is felt through the reasons of Torah. The Atzmi is the pleasures which is not felt at all, not even in the reasons of Torah. This is Re'iyah Atzmis, which is not even shaykh to Hargasha. To explain this, according to this, we have to say that this level of Tainuk which is not coming down through feeling, not Baba Murgash, is a higher level than the other Tainuk that is Baba Murgash. It's not understood. Why is it shaykh to differentiate different levels in this concept of Tainuk HaAtzmi, like Atzmi's dika pleasure? They're both the level of etzem of the Eibishter. And if they're equal, so there's no chiluk madregas. Why is one felt and one not even felt through reasoning? We can't now turn around and say, there are levels, but it's not etzem, and therefore it's shy to say levels. We can't say that. Like we said in last Maamer, that through Torah it's the Eibishter himself. Iyun Torah achieves the Ara Atzmis of the Einik Atzmi of the Eibishter. Atzmi saying Seif, it's the same thing, the Etzim of the Eibishter. So it's obviously not different madregas. It's obviously etzem. If I say why it's shaykh to say that there's chiluk madregas in this idea of etzem. Achin in Hud in the spar level on the last mimer. The pnimius abba, the inner level of chachma, pnimius atik mamush, is the inner level of atik. That's how we explained how through diuk and inani Torah are we tayfus to Eibishter himself. Because it's mamush the same madrega. It's not that it's nostalgia through different things. It's pnimius abba is pnimius atik mamush. In this bar leil, then it brings ayin umad chachma, the nothingness, the bittul of chachma. Shubchinas ayin the keser mamush. It's exactly the same level of ayin the keser. This level of chachma is the same level which has which is present amongst the creations. So you cannot enjoy it. It's too high for us. The less machshava cannot reach it, cannot grasp it, cannot understand it, so you can't have enough from it. But since this level of ayin chachma cannot have pleasure, what's the benefit that it's amongst us, amongst those emanated from the Erev Eliki? So usually when something is amongst the Netzalim, or something's amongst the lower levels, it's there for a purpose, either to have honor, to achieve something. What is the purpose of it being down here? The level of ayin, the way it is at the level of the inner keser, it's not at a level or a concept of understanding, knowing, or grasping. The head that cannot be known, the lo yoda, it does not know, it does not know, the lo isyada, and it cannot be known. Pirish the lo isyada klal, it cannot be known at all. The nikra stima is called stimin. It's something which is hidden on its own, mitzad itself. So it said earlier that the reason it's called stima, they call stimin, hidden of all hiddens. It does not know. It aval kasher bob if knas chachma liya is ben anetzalim. Once it comes out, so this is when it's the ayin keser. It's stima to call stima. It's lo yada v'lo yisiyada. That cannot be known, and it does not know. It does not know means that it does not know of its surroundings, and that it doesn't. It's not affected by its surroundings. It's not like geya to know. It's stima to call stima. Aval kasher bab b'chinas chachmali has been in atolim. Yesh b'choiles love l'b'chinazu. It's possible to come to this level through introducing, knowing, and grasping through knowing what it's not. Like through we said this. Yeah, we said this in the Maamer Lech that some levels of chachma you could not understand what it is, but you know what it's not. You know the hafla, and through understanding the hafla, through the idea shlila of what it's not, I think the lashon over there is that yachay lavai lidei akara k'tzas. You could come to a little bit of a grasping. Let's try to get the correct lashon here. Yeah, v'adei shlila harei masik echus v'oifen hafla. So through shlila, first of all, you don't understand what it is. So the older is the idea shlila, what it's not. Once you get to the idea shlila, what it's not, you can understand the quality of what it is, not it. The quality of what it is. Echus ve'oifen hafla. Sorry, the quality of how mufla it is, how removed it is. And there, you can come to K'tzas HaKara B'etzem HaDavar HaMufla. And over here, say it al-Kapanim HaKitzer, Sh'adei Yidei Tzashliyo Yachlu Yis K'tzas HaKara B'mutz HaDavar K'tzas HaKara Fim HaShem Zbar Lev D'Ibur HaShem Lev L'cha Tasok Sh'ashliyo V'HaKara Sh'adei Zat grasping what it's not and recognizing what it's not. Sorry. Fim HaShem Zbar Lev is going to be a question now. But before we get there, fine. So we have we asked, what's a te'eles that nimtza ben anetzalim? So we say, so when it's in B'chinas Ayin the Keser, it's not even shaykh for anyone to grasp it because lo yadav lo yisyada. You're not even there. But the thing is, ben anetzalim, you can have k'tzas ha'akara, you can have yediyas hashlila. Fine. So now here it comes out that we're saying this yediyas hashlila on the etzem. Right? Because we're talking about the same level of Pnimius Abba as Pnimius Atik. So now we ask the question, but Lefi Mashins Barlim Dimaskalecha, which we just quoted, that's our Gashli Lavakar Shalde Zeb. The Shaykhak Begiluyim the Urinsef. There's only the levels that would shine out of the Urinsef. Lebi Pchinas Atzmi. Vigamnis Barlim Dimaskalecha Yetz in the last member. The Gam Pchinas Iya, the Chachma ends up Pchinas Atzmis. So these levels are not that Etzem that we're talking about. Kim Pchinas Ar Lavat. So the we can't say that there's a te'eles that there's a yediyas hashlila because yediyas hashlila is not shaykh by the level of etzem, and we're trying to say that this level of etzem is nimtza ben anetzalim as pnimius abba, as pnimius atik. So he says yeshlemer shazel mashnitbes al kaponim v'chinas hashlila d'mitzvah sasei. So the tefisa here you have in yediyas hashlila is not a yediyas hashlila of havana, rather a yediyas hashlila through the mitzvahs. Let's keep reading. The lav koidim lahem. The shirsh, the lav lois aseh is higher to lehem, is higher than the aseh. The shirsh mitzvah lois aseh l'mayla b'shirsh mitzvah aseh. V'hainu shehein dafka b'chinas eretz shalom b'chinas gilar asaga. That the level of dafka the shirsh of mitzvah lois aseh etzem. Here the one etzem simply through the kiyum or the lack of kiyum mitzvah lois aseh. You could have a tfisa in Ur Seif, but it's not through a pleasure of Gilui Ur. So Voin and Shmi im Yudke Shasa. This is a gematria l'chayra. Shmi 300 and with Yudke comes out the Shasa. So Shmi it's a b'chinas Shem Havaya. So the fact that the previous Abba is Pnimius Atik. So you have Pnimius Abba now of Gilui, and not a level of Gilui. Sorry, it's Nimtza ben Anetzalim. So this is where us, Netzalim, could have Shaykhus the Mitzvah Lois Aseh. That's Pshat Yediyas Hashlila. But not in any way that there is a Havana in it, or any type of understanding. More of Yediyas Hashlila in the sense of Kiyum Mitzvah Lois Aseh, which if it would have just been an Ayin Dekeser, there would be no Shaykhus to us at all, not even in the Gedder of Kiyum Mitzvah Lois Aseh. So, the Tayelis is the mitzvah lois aseh. The Lehonis still doesn't exist. But the level of ayin, the way it is in Pnimius HaKeser, only once it comes to the Pnimius Abba, that's where it's shaykhs for us to have. So again, Chachma are still we're connected. So, Al Kapanim, we started talking about, we started the Maimer asking, we're talking about etzem, right? Tainuk is etzem. If Tainuk is etzem, how could we chiluk madregas that one Tainuk is morgish and one is ain't morgish? And if there's no chiluk madregas, why Taka is one morgish, one ain't morgish? So we started explaining first about this level of Pnimius Abba is Pnimius Abba, Pnimius Atik. But l'ch'ora it's the same level, right? One is Ayin the Keser, which is not Shaykh to Netzalim. And one is also not is Pnimius Chachma, which is Taka not Shaykh Netzalim, but Al Kapanim Nimtza ben Netzalim. So what's the point of it? We asked. So we said Al Kapanim the Netzalim have a Shaykh through Kiyum Hashlila of Mitzvahs Lois Haseh. So Taka is the same thing, but the fact that it's around the Netzalim, we now have a Shaykh Ladavar through Yediyas Hashlila of Lois Haseh, something which is not Shaykh to understanding or Gilui or whatsoever. But Al Kapanim are Shaykhs. I don't think the word he uses is Shaykhs. B'chinas tfisa. Fine. Yeshleimar k'may b'chinas atik gufa. Let's talk about the same idea also about atik itself, right? So we're talking about Pnimius Abba, Pnimius Atik, right? So we're talking about different madregas within Pnimius Abba, Pnimius Atik. But let's talk about atik itself now. Do you do the Pirush Atik Ulosh Na'ataka Mesefer LaSefer, right? It's copied from one book to another book. That's atik. So atik is Miloshin. Remove netak. We're talking about copying. K'may Asher Tiku Anshe Chizkiah. Lashon HaPasuk of copying. It's copy. When you copy, it's exactly the same thing. Same level of atzmus. Someone's writing from one sefer to another sefer. It's exactly the same thing. It's coming in a book. umikamakim. Through this copying, now there could be an intermediary between the emanator and the emanators, the Eibishter and the Nivraim. Even though Atik, even though the way it comes through Keser is still the lowest level of the Matzil, so still not Shaykh and Netzalim at all. Still not Shaykh. So here we're saying Atik, the other translation of Atik, where it's totally removed and separated from Esher Spheres to Atzilus, which are I guess, the beginning of the Bria, right? And B'chinas Atzmis HaMatzil ain't begeder B'chinas Memutza. Etzem of Matzil is not Shaykh to be Memutza because it's Etzem of the Matzil. Over Mashaba B'chinas Keser, this, even though it's a Chatoina Sheba Matzil, it already creates a Memutza. So even though it's a Chatoina Sheba Matzil, it's already... I think, okay, so for the rest, I think of this, of today's Amud, is going to be it's in the Segrayim over here, which is I think a mashal for this idea. So before we go to the mashal, let's just try to understand it in Verter. So what did we say? We said that Primus Abba, Primus Atik, Primus Abba is Nimtza Ben and Etzolim, but it's exactly the same thing. So we have a Dias Hashlila, like Primus Atik Kufa, which is Matzil, right? Primus Matzil, but still Nasim and Mutzal Lo'olamus. Memutza ben Amatzil and Etzolim. Fine. The Efshar Yeshloimar, this is K'mayim Maturgamon, someone who's translating Shemekabel Ma'aderdish. He accepts the Torah from the guy giving the drasha, Mashpil but he passes it on to the nation. It might be a name like in the days of Tanoim and Lemoraim, Maturgamon ben Achach Ma'aderdish ben Am. There was a translator, or a Shezeh Asher Memutza. Had a Maturgamon Mekabel Hashpal Ma'aderdish K'meshu. What does it mean that he's an intermediary? The Meturgamon gets it as it is. So now the Ashpa from the Derdish is now comes according to his understanding, his feelings, and his kelim. Even though he can accept and be makabel from the darshan, it's not that his senses are equal to the derdish. The nation wouldn't be able to accept him. The idea is they need him because the derdish is too high for them. For him, if the Meturgamon is exactly like the derdish, then what do you gain by having a Meturgamon in between, right? His vessels and his senses and they're equal to the nation. This that he takes the intellect of the master of the Rav, the teacher, according to his senses. The nation could now understand and accept the hashba from the Rav. What the nation, what the olam actually ends up getting. It's ashpa according to the Meturgamon senses. For etzem ashpa Rav, but the actual ashpa that the Rav gives over, nella mehem legamri, is totally concealed. Shenishar behelem mehem gamachach. Even after the Meturgamon passes it on to them, they don't get that etzem ashpa. They're only getting it according to the senses of the Meturgamon. Omnam, however, gam meitzalam Meturgamon, even by the Meturgamon, the translator, gam la'achar shemevis in lefi erech chushav, even once he can accept from the Rav, and he kind of brings it into his senses, his understanding. The actual hashpa that the Rav gave over by him is still removed. It's above his level. This that he brought the idea according to his senses. It's not that the actual hashpa of the Rav, of the master, changed and became equal to his senses. This you cannot have. He cannot take the actual seichel of the Rav and bring it according to his senses. Why not? His senses are not equal to the Rav. Like we said earlier, if his senses would be equal to the Rav, the nation wouldn't be able to be makabel from him. You need someone that's lower than the Rav, something that's more shaykh to the Am. The seichel Rav is nivdol be'erech, so it's not shaykh to bring the seichel Rav of the erech chushav. In order to get seichel Rav into chushim, you need to have seichel Rav and chushim Rav, senses and the intellect. Well, it says in bichol de lav yesech larav b'chushav b'pnimiyas mamash sheishtana v'yil if yed chushal. Because there the guf hashpas and maturgman, the actual hashpa that the translator is giving over. This now does go into the nation's intellect and understanding. Lefi shein berechzel, that they're equal. The maturgman and zel mashim seichel harav shemekabel from the seichel, from the intellect that he gets from the Rav, from the master, bring it in Shalom, the new thing you learn, it's not the same concept, it's a new thing that comes out of it. Elo de Shavdallah. Elo de Shalom and Bezin Yonim Mamash. In the idea of the two Yonim, the two separate things. I'm going to make a new Mama Turgamon, Shayin Shemevel, Fer Chusha, Burak, Mashalakech, Misech Larav. It's not the actual Seichel Harav. The Atzmi is Seichel Harav, Oimid Etzah B'vchinas HaFlaw V'Avdola, Kim Shem Zelekech Inin, you only get the idea from there. Only through the Maturgamon, getting the Hashpa from the Rav, which means you do need to have the Maturgamon being Makabel from the Rav, taking the idea and bringing it down to the Am. This intellect, which is in your senses and well understood, is not the Seichel Maturgamon, right? He needs to get it from the Rav. He on his own, he would never be able to come up with that. Felt the idea that the master, the idea of an intermediary, and explaining exactly what it is. So the middle thing is not has to create something which is shaykh to the lower madrega, which is inspired by the higher madrega, but not it at all. Same idea what we see in Kesser. It's totally removed. But from there is where the Erdis of Arich come. The Erdis of Arich are not the same Erdis of Atik. It's more like the Seichel Harav coming into the Maturgamon's way, which is not Seichel Harav. Because again, if it would be Seichel Harav, then it wouldn't be able to continue on. They only get the shine from Arich. Is always removed. So here you see, I have but it's still Nasim and Mutza, because it's the Arich part which gets passed on. It's like the Seichel Harav coming in the Maturgamon. Seichel Harav never continues moving. It's the Maturgamon now recreates it in a oifen that's shaykh. Even within Kesser itself, the Atzmos of Atik is totally removed. The Eretz of Arich come out of it, which is like a new like the Seichel of the Maturgamon. Going back to what we said before, is that this Kesser is Mamutza, which is shaykh to the Oilamas. What's mean Oilamas? So we'll continue tomorrow, but we're holding now, so we're trying to understand the idea of Atik, which through that we'll understand a little bit better the idea of Primus Abba, Primus Atik, how you can have the same level. One of it is an oifen of totally removed, and one of it is nimtza ben and atzolim, and there's a idea hashlila of loitzasa. Same idea we can understand in Atik itself. That Atik on the one hand is totally removed, on the other hand nimtza meno eretz ta'arich, and tomorrow we'll continue this discussion about how the Kesser is taka mamutza ben and atzolim, till finally towards the end of the Maimer we'll start understanding these levels of tainug ha'atzmi, how one is murgash and one ain't murgash, and connecting it obviously, like we said earlier, to avoid of tshuva.